Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I thank you for being part of this program. Thank you for joining us on this very platform, wherever you are watching from. If you are watching from Europe, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, you are watching from Asia, from Africa, or from the Zoological Republic, or if you are watching from Biafra land, I welcome you to this very platform, and I thank you for being part of us in this platform. Please like and share this program if you have not done so. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you get other people acquainted with the program, because in this platform we bring information to your doorstep and we say things the way they are. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform where we bring information that has to do with the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, a platform where we bring details of information coming from the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria, Simon Ekpa. In this platform, we say things the way they are without being politically correct. We just say it, the truth, and nothing but the truth. I welcome every one of you that have joined in.
If you could say, if you see him that way.
Well, Awolowo, before all this, was the premier of Western Nigeria.
Okay. And
we saw I have to use this expression, the wonders he performed in the West.
Okay.
Free education, you name it.
Yeah.
Health. And the West became a model.
Okay.
So, and remember that while all these things were going on, he got into trouble.
True.
With the federal government.
Okay.
That earned him that imprisonment in Calabar.
Yes.
So Awolowo was nowhere around to have any discussions with us.
Okay.
He did not even know.
Okay. So it wasn't a plot. It wasn't a plot.
It wasn't an approach or whatever.
Yeah.
But we felt that if he could do that in the West,
okay,
he didn't need too much prodding to do this, replicate it in
all over
Nigeria.
No.
And that was what we had in mind.
Okay. Okay. And I was going to ask another question we always ask again. Is you've answered a bit of it, which is to do with when the leaders from the north and the south were taken out. I don't want to use the strong words. What explanation do you give to those in the southeast for not being taken out? If I can, what do you is there any clear explanation for that?
Well, I thought you heard it earlier, but let me go through it again. There were problems in the West.
Okay.
And the center of that problem was the instigator
was in the West.
Was in the West.
Okay.
But the instigator was
the
Southern. The West was at peace.
Okay.
Quite peaceful.
Yeah.
And you don't go to an area.
What do you mean? The east? The east, you mean?
Sorry, did I say?
Well, you said the West. Yeah.
Sorry,
east.
the east.
Yeah.
You don't give medicine to somebody
who's healthy.
Yeah, when there are so many sick people who need it somewhere else.
True.
And that was a simple analysis of what happened.
Okay. We're gonna go on a quick break now, and when we return, Colonel is going to tell us a bit about the person of Zogu. I know most Nigerians will never really get to. We've heard historical snippets of it, but maybe he'll tell us a bit of experience with him, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Chudume a bit more about his, outlook on the 1960s history. We'll see you soon.
Hausa people. You don't know that it is there. That's what they say. You're fighting under the banner of your conquerors. Driving under their flag, one Nigeria and the Arabic inscription, or should I say the motto of Ottoman and Fodio, to tell you how foolish Nigerians are. You don't know that the Nigerian emblem, the army emblem of Nigeria, is the motto of Ottoman and Fodio that he used to conquer Hausa people. You don't know that it is there. That's what they're using. You're fighting under the banner of the conquerors. Those you are serving under their flag, one Nigeria and the Arabic inscription, or should I say the motto of Ottoman and Fodio, to tell you how foolish Nigerians are. You don't know that the Nigerian emblem, the army emblem of Nigeria, is the motto of Ottoman and Fodio that he used to conquer. I don't know that it is there. That's what you say. You're fighting under the banner of your conquerors. Those you are serving under their flag, one Nigeria and the Arabic inscription, or should I say the motto of Ottoman and Fodio, to tell you how foolish Nigerians are. You don't know that the Nigerian emblem, the army emblem of
Chukwudumikazo. Thanks for staying with us. Before we went on the break, I talked about we'll have to discuss. Maybe we would like you to enlighten us about Major Zogu at the time. Just tell us a bit of experience with him, because you know he's a historical figure. You only see snippets of him on YouTube, and where he was making one speech or so. There's never anything. You just see this handsome man that made a few comments and here and there. But we want to know from your experience. What was he like? Who was he?
Juku. He was Major Juku Kaduna Zogu. And the name Kaduna came from Kaduna, where he was born.
Okay.
And he spoke fluent Hausa, as well as good English. We went to St. John's College, Kaduna, together.
Okay.
That was where we met the first time. He was my senior. And there in the college, one thing stood out about him. He had his classmates and friends, but he was more at home. Let me put it, he was always at home with people who were junior to him.
Okay.
Unlike the usual thing in secondary schools. Well, second years, you fag the junior ones. Even after then, when the junior comes to you, yes, what do you want? I don't have the time now. But Zogu will have the time for you. Zogu was not a known footballer. We all play games and all that. But instead, Zogu was, in fact, in athletics, we were doing all sorts of events. But Zogu will come and run the track so many times over.
Wow. So he was athletic.
He was athletic. But he wasn't in there for competition and all that. He was nice. At least we saw him that way. After he left college, the next time we met was he joined the army. And I was still in college. I came out, went into civil service for 1 year and joined the army. We met again in the army. And I remember after my years at Sandhurst, from there we were posted on paper to go into the Nigerian artillery. And because we were still in the UK, they arranged for us to go for artillery training in Salisbury Plain. And when we were there, because I was still in touch with Zogu, one day I was in the TV room watching TV. They called me and said I had a phone call. Then you have this mobile phone field. It was London. I had Peter Zogu. He was so happy he brought me and we talked. And then he told me he had come there to the School of Intelligence to do some training, professional training and all that. We talked for quite a while. Yeah. And then I told him about it. So eventually we met back in Nigeria. And I found him very, very interesting. Yeah. He had his classmate, Chris Anaforo, who, of course, was a major too. But Chris Anaforo, I liked him, I dealt with him, yeah. But he was not as warm and as welcoming as Zogu. That was a big difference. Yeah. So Zogu will always listen to junior officers. Yeah. And in fact, I remember that the day or the night, I just left the officers' mess back to the accommodation where I shared with Zogu and one other. I was sitting there when a car drove in. I didn't know who the hell it was. Eventually, the person came in, and it was Biafra Jouney, who was stationed in Lagos, 2 Brigade. So I was surprised. I greeted him, gave him blessing. He said he's just coming from Lagos, yeah. And he'll be going back to Lagos that night. Okay. Wow. That he would like to see Zogu. So that he was happy he met me. I said, okay, hold on, let me call him. Yeah. I left and went back to the mess. And they told me they saw Zogu with Major Emma Udaja. Just leave. And the direction they went, I guessed the next place was to check to Udaja's house. All of us were living with him. Yeah. So I got there and said, here you are. The reason I say this is because of his closeness with junior officers. Okay. Yeah. I said, here you are. That I went to look in the mess. That there are some junior officers from the Air Force, the new Air Force civil, and they were in the house. They wanted to see you. He said, he told
my fellow Biafrans, every one of us must be attending this program. You must be there to hear information firsthand from the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Continue to support the Liberation Army. Support Biafra the best way you can. And we have a news also. I'm going to share this information that is coming from one of the lawyers of our Supreme Damazi Nandekan. The information we are getting is not funny, and we are not taking it funny. Every one of us should pay attention to this very information that is coming from the lawyer. We must continue to request for the unconditional release of Mazi Nandekan. Now you know why you must do everything to see Mazi Nandekan free. Let us watch and hear the report coming from the lawyer of Mazi Nandekan.
How was the selection done?
I wouldn't know about today, but at that time, the first thing is in the Nigerian context, because they give Nigeria, they give different Commonwealth countries, okay, or even their colonies. They have given them quota. Okay. So for my own intake, Nigeria had only 4
slots.
Okay, then. Okay. For my own. Then in Nigeria, in my own set, we were, I would imagine, around 40-something cadets who made it to Nigerian Military Training College, which is now the Defense Academy. The first 6 months, you do all sorts of training, and at the end, you go through your final selection board. So, to get about 35 that passed through that course was by itself a real task.
Yeah.
Then, from that 35 to get 4 for Sandals slot, it was anybody's guess.
Yeah. You have to be the best, really.
So if you're lucky,
if
you're lucky to be in that slot, you thank yourself. And I'll tell you, there was this drama. When they pasted the results at the end of our 6 months, they pasted it, and as soon as we knew about it, everybody dashed to the board. Of course, when you got there, there'll be some cadets who were there before you, and you couldn't see far, and everybody was keeping trying to find out. One is to find out if you made it.
Okay.
It's not really where you're going.
It's about if you made it.
To make it. So I kept looking, and he looked at certain names. They looked like a name, only to find out no, it's not you. Eventually, you see the thing, and then you look against it. You see RMAS.
What does that mean?
Which was magical. Royal Military Academy.
Okay.
And look, I didn't know whether it was true or not. I felt this could have been a dream.
Okay. Yeah.
I looked at it again, and again, and again. Eventually, I said, Jim,
yes.
Yes. It's not only that God made me pass that course, which wasn't easy, but got me into Sandals slot, which was another
task in itself. Wonderful.
Then the rest will have to go to months.
Okay.
Which was a short.
And since you're here with us, I can't start the discussion without asking you about your interaction with the Dim himself, or the Mego Juku. I know he wasn't part of the 66 coup per se, but he was an Igbo leader, one of the military icons.
That's right.
How did you know him? And presumably you were friends with him as well.
Eventually.
Okay.
But at first he was, he looked so distant.
Okay.
But I first knew about him while we were in Kaduna.
Okay.
Because St. John's College, there was John Bigger.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about it, you heard of Bigger. Bigger was his half brother.
Okay.
And he was my senior by 2 years in college.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bigger was there, and I knew he was answering Bigger, but we knew that to Juku. So eventually, the first time I met him, he was posted to one of the units in Kaduna while we were still in college.
Okay.
And of course, we continue hearing stories. And then there were very, very few Nigerian officers in the army at the time. They were mainly British.
Okay.
So eventually I met Juku, and it wasn't, how will I put it? It wasn't a formal meeting. When I met him formally, eventually, was, I would even say, when we started, long after the coup and our detention, and then we came back.
Well, after being exiled, because of of time, I was going to ask you about the time away, and
okay.
But we were going to cut it across like this thing.
Okay. No, I'm trying to pinpoint the particular time I met him, but eventually, I started working in his headquarters.
Okay. That was when he returned from, what was that in the 80s? Or?
No, that was during the Biafra War.
Okay, during the war. Okay, sorry.
During the Biafra War.
Okay.
And I was put in there because I had my injury,
Okay.
which nearly ruined my spinal cord. So after hospitalization, I was taken there. I couldn't go back to the field immediately. So I was taken to, actually, I went in my car with my driver to the defense headquarters because I didn't go straight to Juku. It wasn't easy. I went to General Elction, who was the chief of defense staff, and I reported fit and ready for duty. So he was happy to see me too. So he said, okay, tidied his desk, took me to defense operations, where Juku was part of his building. So I met Juku, I believe formally, then